I learned early on in golf club testing, and particularly putter testing, that not all golf balls are the same, meaning that some golf balls are not balanced properly. And by balanced, I mean this. Here's a good demonstration. If I take a pencil and I take it and I put it under the dimple on this ball and I balance this ball on the pencil, and I draw a vertical line up through the middle of that ball, I now have a vertical line from the point of the pencil. Now I go over to another dimple and I balance the ball and I draw a vertical line. I go to another dimple and I balance the ball and I draw a vertical line. Let's say I do every dimple on the ball, but I don't have to. All of those vertical lines will intersect at a tiny little dot inside the middle of that golf ball, and that's going to be the golf ball's center of gravity or balance point. So center of gravity and balance point are basically synonymous for what we're talking about. Well, what happens is some golf balls, the centers will get off molded. And what happens when the center of gravity is to one side or another, slightly, now we're only talking thousandths of an inch, we end up with a heavy side to the ball and a lighter side to the ball. Well, depending on how we orientate that heavier light side, and let's say on a putt, we may be able to knock the putt directly into the hole, or with the same given stroke, we may end up missing it on the right or the left. So it works like this. If I take the heavy part of the ball and I set it down to putt it and it's on the ground, or I can put the heavy part up, or I can put the heavy part facing forward. As long as it's in that rolling plane that goes to the hole, then every time I putt the ball, if it's a perfect stroke, goes right in the middle of the cup. However, if I take the heavy side of the ball and I place it to the right, and I hit it with this precision robot that I have, the ball will miss the hole to the right, and I use a 24-foot putt to demonstrate this. Thousands of students have come through this studio and seen this demonstration, so nothing is being fudged at all on doing it. Again, if I take the heavy side of the ball and I place it to the left and I strike it with the robot on a 24-foot putt, I miss the ball to the left of the hole. So we need to be able to find out, are the golf balls that we're playing, are they perfectly balanced, or is there one that's really off? Now, most top grade balls are X-rayed. And in this studio, I use two brands of balls. And this is not to say that any other brand has a problem. I just picked two to be consistent and stick with them. I picked top grade Callaway balls and top grade Titleist balls. And I balance every one. And to this date, I have never, ever found one of those balls out of balance. And those are the top grade balls from those manufacturers. Probably, I don't know about the Hogans and the Nikes and all that. I am not in the golf ball testing business. I actually found this all out because I'm in the golf club design business and I needed consistency and good data. So therefore I had to find out things that, well, not all golf balls are created the same, and we don't want to play with something where we've got to go when we miss the putt, gee, was it me or was it my equipment? So let's go a little bit farther and do a little test here. There are two ways to I think that was three fingers. There are two ways to basically check the balance on a golf ball. And one of the ways is you can buy a little spin balancer that they have in stores, and you've seen them advertised. You just press the button and this thing spins up to some god-awful RPM, and you put a mark on the ball. Well, the spin balancer works from the standpoint that any ball that's out of balance, it'll put the mark in the right place. I don't like to use the spin balancer, even though it's very neat and clean and easy to use, simply because it doesn't tell me if the ball is absolutely perfectly balanced, which every ball has got to be just the minusculest out. And this will mark that ball there, which is meaningless to putting because you're not going to miss the putt. I want to know if the golf ball is really bad. And that's the ball we use in our demonstrations, and it's out pretty far. So I'm going to show you how to find out. Little messier setup, but still the easiest way to go. You can buy a kit. You can get a kit that comes with some salts in it, and the salts are mixed up with a adhesion eliminator, if you will, that helps the ball spin and float, and we can tell what happens. So what we do is we take this kit apart, and we find out we've got a little bag of salts. It takes a lot of salts, this whole bag, into a jar of water right here. Just warm up the water and stick them together, mix it up a little bit, and you've got your solution. Lasts for 2 or 3 years. You don't have to worry about it. You just need some paper towels around because salt water gets a little gooey. You also get a Sharpie pen in the kit. So you can use the Sharpie, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. So let's actually do a ball balancing thing here and show you the 3 conditions that occur when I balance a golf ball. So when I balance a golf ball, we're going to start off with this demo ball that I had, which is my Callaway that I use in my tests. I'm going to put it in and I spin it. And I spin the ball and I get my Sharpie out and get it all set up. And if I want, I can take and where the ball absolutely stops, I put a little mark on it by just punching down on the ball, just a little mark. Now I spin the ball again. And when I spin it again, the ball comes up to a different location. My mark's not on the top. And when I spin it again, the ball comes up to another location and my mark's not on the top. That ball is perfectly balanced. There's no reason to go any further with that ball. So let's take it out of the solution. And the next thing we're going to do is take a ball that's the next condition, and that's one that's slightly out that you definitely should mark when you're putting, and just put the dot up and then putt the ball, and you don't have to worry about it wanting to go right or left. So let's put this ball in and we'll spin it, and it stops with the mark that I put on it pointing straight up. So I'm going to spin it again, and it comes up very slowly, but it comes up to the same spot every single time. So there it is. That ball is slightly out and then needs to be marked, but it's a good ball to play with. Just know that when you're putting, you want the mark up. Now here's the ball that we don't want to play with. And you'll find some of these, and particularly as you get down in price range and in different types of constructions of balls. So I'm going to put this one in, and I kind of spin it with my finger, not very fast, you just flip it over a little bit, and whoop, up it comes with the dot that I had pre-put on it. Now I would generally be, when I found it, I'd be putting my dot on and spinning it and then seeing how fast it comes up. Oops, right back up again. I spin it, right back up again. Reminds me of the Joe Palooka doll I had when I was a kid, which was one of those things with a big heavy base and you punched it and it came right back up. The center of gravity was very low in it and it forced it to just jump right back up. So this is the ball I don't want to putt with. So balancing golf balls is very important, and the touring professionals that I have come through here, and I do tell them the balls that I have never ever found one unbalanced, but I said, you know what, then maybe someday they'll have an unbalanced ball and maybe you could catch it. Because certainly you don't want to miss a putt simply because you didn't recognize that the golf ball you had did not have its center of gravity or balance point in the middle of the ball.